What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Twister, and this is the place where we talking about different TV shows. Imagine this is kind of like a book club just for the TV shows. If you're watching some TV show or movie and you want to talk to somebody about it, that's the spot. Come over. If you have some time for while you're walking, while you're cooking, while you're having your tea, coffee, or whatever stronger because it's somewhere 5 o'clock in the world. So you're in the right spot. I love movies. I love talking about them, love talking about the TV shows. So for the next 30, 40, 50 minutes, you can relax, do whatever you want, and just turn me on a background. You don't even really need to look at the screen. So the first episode has been dropped yesterday, and surprisingly for me, it was a huge surprise for many of my friends. Maybe because I was anxiously waiting for this show. I knew that as soon as The Penguin ends on Sunday, we know that HBO used that time slot on Sundays, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, when they release their best of the best shows. House of Dragon, Westworld was coming on this, and Succession was coming at that time slot. So I knew there is going to be Dune, and I knew it's going to be only 6 episodes. For a lot of my friends, it was a huge surprise. Maybe if my friends didn't know, if I didn't talk enough with them, maybe some people who do not had any information about it, maybe there was not enough promotion. I don't know. But at this moment, I'm making this video at 1 p.m., so almost more than the half day passed since then. Only 848 people came and rated this episode. I'm expecting this number will climb a little bit more by end of the week. Next week, when we're going to do the breakdown on the second one, we can check it out if audience came for this show. It will be really disappointing if that's going to be only kind of mini series, only 6 episodes, and shows will be closed. Because I think the show has a great potential. The visually, yes, they took the base of Villeneuve movies, and on my taste, those movies was really successful. But even if you're gonna go to the movies, right? The part one on the Internet Movie Database has 8, which is like not 10. Someone is like, how come this is such a great movie? How it's 8? Some people didn't like it. Some people didn't like interpretation. Some people do not really like Timothée Chalamet. I don't know. But I like that movie. I saw it at least 4 times and I enjoyed it. Dune Part 2, if we going to check that one out, almost 1 million people came and voted for that first part of the Dune. Second part, only 545,000 people. Again, that movie came out just in 2024, but by that moment, I would expect everyone who watched Dune Part 1 would definitely come and watch the second one. And if they was so motivated to go rated the first movie, I was expecting them to be here and motivated enough to rate the second part and go give some kind of stars for the TV show. Again, maybe production like not a production, marketing production fail. Who knows? But where is the audience? I'm trying to like John Travolta, who is like looking around, trying to see where is the people. So 8.5, which is really good rating, and that's almost how I feel about the TV show. It's good. I liked it. I really like science fiction. You can pretty much throw any science fiction movie for me or TV show. I will take it. It's like in those memes, when they ask, how much science fiction Twister need? And I would say yes. So give me as much as possible and I will take them. I like it. One of the latest what I've really enjoyed it was Foundation, made by Apple Plus. And over here I had kinda similar feeling. Also, it had been a huge battle against the smart robots and all that nada, uh, like Battlestar Galactica. Again, people, let's talk about all these TV shows. We watch so many of them. We know that, like, at some point, if you build smart machines, they're going to rebel and go against you. Terminator, Matrix. We saw this so many times, and what we doing as a human society right now, we creating robots. The guy who Tesla guy, what's his name? Gosh, Musk. So now he's making robots that like robot in every house, and I'm like, my goodness, I saw this story so many times. And ChatGPT, it's so scary. The images Mid-Journey creating, so many people get fooled by that. Videos that they can create now, it's also can fool someone. I don't know. I don't know if we should keep going with this. I'm on the one hand, yes, it's like so cool to see, oh my goodness, we create smart robots, but then you want to grab all these stories we have, all that science fiction is like, look what's gonna happen eventually. We will need to fight against all those freaking smart toasters. Anyway, I guess we still kind of far from that point, hopefully. But my maybe only complaint towards this show, I felt like they was trying to oversell so much. They knew that main audience for this show going to be people who watched Dune movies. And that's probably minus of the Lord of the Rings TV show when they was trying to grab, copy paste some quotes from movies, like, oh, that's Gandalf said to the Frodo in the Morias, we need to give that quote to the Tom Bombadil. Okay, and hopefully our fans going to love this because it's fun service. I don't know, my approach toward those shows, be simpler, like do what you're supposed to do. Do not try so hard for me to like you. You know, like sometimes, I don't know if you had those experience in your dating life, but I did at some point. Right now, I'm in a good, stable 12 years of relationship right now. But I did have that period when you dating someone and you date someone who is trying way too hard, is laughing at every your joke. They are willing to eat whatever food you eat. They willing to adjust their schedule just for you, and they willing to change clothes. And oh, he doesn't like this smell. Of course, I can change. It's like, dude, you trying way too hard. Just chill, calm down, be yourself. Let me like you for who you are, not who you trying to make yourself for me. You know, same things with this show. The only probably minuses for me, it was when they was trying to do the fan service and just like, oh, look, we did exactly like in a movie. So it does it remind you a movie? How about that? Does that remind you a movie? Oh, maybe you're gonna like us more. No, my suggestion for the any TV show, not like anyone asking me or listening for that, but just calm down. Just do your stuff. You have great team. They made wonderful costumes. Of course, they had like that base already created by movie team, and they just needed to copy paste pretty much so many decorations, so many sets, designs, how the spacecraft look, how the mining stuff look, how's the worms going to look, the proportion of them. So many things already was prepared for them. And good, just use that and work with this. Do not try too hard. The first episode called Hidden Hand, of course, we understand that's the sisterhood who stand in behind the veil and trying to control, manipulate people. And this is reminds in its own way. In its own way, this is kind of like if we're talking about the Game of Thrones, right? They had maesters who's always next to their masters. They helping, they serving them, but in the same time, probably they plotting their own. They have their own goal, their own agenda. Everyone thinking they servants, but they talk with each other. And again, we have this some kind of Jedi's. They would also like train and go to places, and like we are peacemakers of the dome, and but who knows what exactly they trying to do. And I'm trying to, because when I was making the Russian review, there is also, Witcher. We also have Aretrusa magical school where witches was training, and when they became successful enough, they go to the king and they helping his own king or ruler or lord, and they kind of helping him out. But in the same time, we know that all the wizards has their own kind of union. They making their own plans, and they twist and turn their rulers the way they would like and they would prefer. So this is not really super new concept. We saw that before, but in this world, in Dune world, that sisterhood makes um, important not just in that magical aspect, supernatural aspect, but also political power. Cool scenes. Maybe there was not so many battles with the robots. Maybe someone would like to see more of that stuff. But again, it doesn't need to. We need to remember this is TV show. This is not movie, and this not a goal to show pew 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 jumping from the spacecraft, battle fights or spaceship fights. This is more political drama. Also, my concern how sometimes people, when they watch something or trying to market, they like, okay, this is a Game of Thrones in space. Don't be Game of Thrones in space. Let the Game of Thrones be Game of Thrones, and you just be Dune. Just be yourself. Make your own name. Do not try to cripple on that, like use that as the stepping stone for yourself. Let people come in and judge for what you are. Do not try to look like something else. That's another thing. Like often I would go to the library if I want to buy a book, and this is better than Harry Potter, or this is Harry Potter with the flying on a dragons, or this is Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones. And I'm like, every time I read something like that, I'm like, nope, I'm I'm not gonna take this book. This is for me like cheap marketing. You're not trying to hook me up with your original story. You're trying to evoke my memories or emotions on something that I already love. So those scenes was not that many of this battle, and it's more common as a background information to explain that Atreides, he led the battle. That's why he was recorded as a hero, and Harkonnen, they stepped down, they deserted, and that's why people do not like them. Kinda ish, and that's it. We saw huge robots, and now they all over here in a recycling. Okay. And again, this is just to give us backdrop understanding about the story, where it's going, the Valia. We finding out. I really enjoyed for the casting director how he found the actresses and the acting so good, that so believable, that's the same person. I loved it. Good job, I would like to say. We see the school, and we're going to see the same school later in the vision in Ascent, to explain us. So seeing that should tell us in a vision when the worm swallows that school, that's just a symbolic that sisterhood going to fall one day. We see that even in a school we have the Reverend Mother, the main mother, and two different movements with the two different visions, and how mother trying to create the genetic line which is going to give us enough clues about the Paul Atreides. And so the whole goal, create the perfect ruler perfectly, which is going to bite the sisterhood in the butt in the end. The spaceships, those we see all the explanation how it works. They need to make the specific gesture. They also communicate with the sign language ish. They can send the message just with the one hand though. And we saw that already when we watched the movies, all the movies. This is part of the lore. That's how that sisterhood works. So nothing new, and all the explanation about the genetic lines. I liked it. I liked it how they set it up the world, setting up the story. Even in the beginning, this what it make the huge turn, what kind of sisterhood could be if, for example, the main mother would choose another sister to lead in a different way, and to be silent, to helpful, more quiet. But she chose Valia, and she told her use all of the tools that are available and use them to bring us to the power. We saw those ripples on the water when they pray, but the use of a voice didn't happen until Valia used it for the first time. She's the one who discovered this ability. I like there is a writer Asimov, the one who wrote I, Robot. He wrote Foundation. Um, he wrote so many foundational. I'm sorry for using the same word. Yes, he wrote the book Foundation, but he did so much foundational science fiction material that kind of like a platform for so many different ideas and TV shows coming in. Like three laws of robotronics, how they supposed to like do not harm human. You cannot do anything or undo that can lead for its damage. All of that, and his rule was every time when you writing science fiction or fiction, it needs to be believable. It needs to be based at least something on realistic facts. And I can believe that because we know that when we speak, the waves of our voice they coming in, and scientists saying that sometimes whatever we say off that wave is just getting weaker, but it never stops. It's always going. It just it just gets weaker. And that's really interesting how voice can change something. If even with this show we do need to tap into the religion. Yes, in the United States my degree is in the film school, but back in Ukraine before moving in I got a degree in theology. I was really interested just for trying to understand how religion is affecting the people, how religion can manipulate people, how it's changed nation, how it can be beneficial, how it can be destructive, who would use a religion in which way. And if we talk about the religions, like if we talking about the Christian religion and Bible, we know like based on the in a Christianity, right? Or if you take the Bible, since that God created the world with using His word. So, and that's kind of also has the meaning. Those length waves, those sound waves, they can make something happening, and that Valia can find a way to use those waves to make someone do what you want. I can believe in this. Again, it might not happen in real life, but though I saw so many cult leaders or some kind of movements where their leader can stay and say, he can lie just directly, like come up with crazy stuff on the fly. He can just say awful things and people would accept that and believe that and thinks that's normal, which is for me being a person of, I would love to think that I'm an intellectual human being who comes to things with the rational point of view, not from emotional point of view. For me, sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, how people can even believe this person saying such lies, but people would get it. Or sometimes people get, if they got into some kind of sect, their leaders would just talk to them and they start to believe in they could bring their own monies, they can sell everything and bring it to him or to her. That's the power of the word. Sometimes people have it, and often it's not really science fiction. But what is really science fiction we see in this episode, ability to control someone with their eyes and make set up self ignition process, which is, I remember a long time ago I watched like documentary about the self ignition can be possible, but there is needs to be specific chemical processes happening inside of our body. There is supposed to be some kind of catalyst to that ignition happen. But when we're watching TV show, we kind of can say like, okay, yeah, this is magic. It's like we know the Jedi is not real. You're looking out for those droids or whatever. So and just that's it. And let's believe in this world, people can say the word and they can control it. They can look into somebody's eyes and they can reprogram them to ignite at some moment, right at this moment or later in a few hours or few days. But seeing whole that scene was really, really cool. And that vision when she's saying, I saw the vision where Tyron, Arafil coming, the great punishment, cloud, something that will come and will destroy everything. And when she's seeing that vision in the end, there is two glowing blue eyes, kind of like smart robots would have. And that something will come to us. And we see that division between the sisterhood getting even stronger. We saw the characters Kasha, Valia, her sister Tula. Really strong scene when she used her power for the first time, using her voice, and Valia make her opponent to kill herself. But she was willing to share this knowledge. She was willing, she was asking like, let's unite, let's not fight. But if you're not going to kneel, if you're not going to accept that vision of creating a genetic dynasty, she wanted to destroy everything. So instead, Valia decided to destroy her. And we seen Valia 30 years later. I want to see if there is a dates again. Yeah, 10,148 years before the birth of Paul Atreides. So, story we watching over here, it's 10,000 years before the story in the movies. And we see that she is kind of like a good mother. She knows what is right, what is wrong in her head by her scale. She is achieving this goal. She needs to have someone from royal family to come to the school, train, and sit on a throne one day. And we hear that different family requesting the truth tellers, someone who can recognize where is the truth, where is the lie, and even for her own family, they like this is for the fourth time they asking to one of the girls sent there. She like for the fourth time, I'm saying no, even that's her own family. We see that finding out about the emperor, he has two kids. He has a legitimate daughter from his wife, and he has a son from somebody else who brought into the house. And but he still has enough power, wield his father seal to make deals. So they was agreeing his sister going to be sent out to the school for 10 years, which is make Valia really, really happy. We see all the study of all the girls. In one way, this really, really reminded me Witcher, Aretusa magical school where the girls would study magic, but because this one was really, really close. Yes, in Wizard they can, in Witcher they can bind the power of fire, water. There is more magic happening. Here is more just reading biology of the human being, how they sweat, how pupils dilate, and all that stuff. We have some characters, we have like so many background, but they establish who is going to be important, and we probably should watch after them. And Valia's sister, Tali, Tula, whatever her name is. Again, with Dune, so many names, it's so hard to pronounce. Even the writer himself said, like, however you're going to pronounce it, pronounce it. So I wrote for myself Valia and Tula. Hopefully not Tuna. If we going to see for the characters breakdown, yeah, it's just really famous city in Russia, Tula. I don't know if that's what they trying to go for it. Anyway, they teaching the girls and practical testing on the humans, theory, and we know they going to become acolyte, those students of the school. Also, this moment when they trying to remind us really strongly, this is a Dune, please remember this, kind of like in the movies. We see this Ines, she's a daughter of the emperor, and she's training the sword fighting. And the guy, of course, he's Atreides, so he's going to be like grand 10,000 years ago grandfather of the Paul Atreides. But it's cool to see some of the families like Harkonnen and Atreides. They have been so many years and they still survived through the thousands years. The relationship, you see that it's not kind of relationship between Cersei and Jaime Lannister. At least I hope so. But you see, they really, really close. But at the same time, you can see that's normal close relationship. I think Game of Thrones, Westeros, Lannisters, Targaryens, they kind of little bit mess us up. That every time when we see brother and sister in the screen, you kind of like, please, don't ban each other. Just be a good family, normal one. But Okay, cast is pretty, the trainer, sword fighters, cute, and she is cute, and we see how exactly in the background uh, works the sisterhood. Over here they was like, oh yes, we are here right for you to read the, if your opponent not lying to you. They making the deal for the wedding, they offering the fleet of the spaceships, and emperor allowing his daughter, legitimate ruler, to get married to this boy. And in the same time we see those sisters sending the signs to each other, like, okay, he's trying to get here just to get closer to the great houses and initially get to um, Arrakis, to get that planet where is the spice floating. And they like, okay, Kasha saying like, okay, we doesn't care about this at this moment, we need to make sure this wedding happening, because that's a great plan of Vale. What another reminder about The Witcher, this actress, she played Queen Calante in the TV show Witcher, so that's why I was like, oh, I remember you. By the way, I might disagree on some of the casting decisions in Witcher TV show, but Calante it's one of my favorite. Even later when I was reading the books again, Calante is exactly same when I would read the book. In my images, she would come in this actress after TV show. Even the what's his name, Henry Cavill, he wouldn't pop up in my head. I would imagine my character from the game Witcher 3, the Wild Hunt. I would imagine him faster than Henry Cavill, but still, she's really good Calante on my taste. And we see that she's free spirit daughter. She knows what she wants. She's going to train for the in the 10 years to go to this school willingly because she wants to get that power to be able to read people, to understand people, and maybe bend them to her will if needed. So, but she like, I'm gonna get what I want. So don't worry much for me. Now, appearance of the new character. His name Desmond Hart. I need to be honest, absolutely honest. This actor is not my most favorite in the universe. He kinda annoys me. When I watch the TV show Vikings, I feel he's exactly been same in Vikings, in the World of Warcraft movie, in Raised by Wolves TV show. Pretty much any show that what I watch, he is same, having that little face movement, smirks, and he kind of annoys the crap of me. It's almost like every time when he talks, it's like a nails on a glass. But again, I'm enjoying science fiction, so I can tolerate his presence. And he brings the news that someone staged the attack on Arrakis. So someone came in, steal the spies, and there is something's going on, some kind of rebellion happened over there behind the emperor. By the way, if you think like, oh my goodness, we just in half episode and already 30 minutes of review, this is normal for me because I'm trying to make more review based on the atmosphere and discussion on different interesting moments and stories. And we needed to make a base for this TV show. Next episodes will be faster. But for the first one, since we discussed how it's connected to the movies and other stuff, it took a little bit longer. So he has that ability. We see that eye contact between him and Kasha, and I think his power without articulation, he can send some kind of messages, And that's already planted the seed inside of her. That's what create nightmare in her later. That's something what made her combust later. So I'm thinking he has also power, but not voice. Like if we call the superpower that sister has voice, then let's call he has a sigh. So he can look at someone and as soon as their eyes contacted, he can plant some kind of mental virus that make the body produce something inside to ignite. Again, the vision is it's almost like you need to go like slide by slide. We see in the throne room, we see that pomegranate they used to feed each other like as a symbol of marriages, and we see the worms inside. Not it's not wedding yet. It's like engagement symbol, and she feels like she's betraying Ines. And also over here in the end, she see how the huge worm. If you like if you blink it you missed it, but if you go really slow you can see that's actually a huge worm falling on her and getting her. And again, two blue mechanical eyes, vision similar to what the great mother, what's her name, Raquel had before dying. And of course, Kashu got scared and she decided to go and tell everything to new Reverend Mother. Emperor not happy with the wedding. He feels like something is going on. Everyone feels something is going on, but Valia is so determined to make sure this wedding is happening. She wants to make sure she get her to Ines study and became one of them and finally achieve what she really wanted and hoped for. Visually, this is stunning show. Everything, even they recycle in the same set. Of course, when you do in the TV show, you try to save money everywhere is possible. Movie budgets way bigger. You can get away with the setting up decorations for the movie way more than with the TV show. But I think what they do with this throne room, we saw it in so many scenes already, and I checked the trailer for upcoming episodes. It's so many angles, so many scenes, different lightings, different circumstances. They use the same throne room, and I'm applauding them for creativity because it doesn't feel cheap. This TV show does not feel cheap, not in any way, but I can see where they trying to cut the corners, like outside showing the training with the rocks and water putting down, or using the same outside view of like castle where the school located multiple times. Good job. This little shit, he annoyed me from the beginning. Like, my daddy said we doesn't need to talk. I'm going to eat by my own. I have a toy in my pocket. I'm not gonna show you. She was trying so hard to seduce him in a way, but she need to wait at least 5 more years for him to get more interested with her lips chewing the pomegranate rather than right now. Right now, the mechanical toy at the age of 9, he's child. And again, even they're going to get married. For 10 years, she goes to the school. That's going to give him exactly 10 years to grow up. He's going to be 19 and will be perfect. Beautiful visual. They show us this girl, the girl who appeared together. I assume she's a part of the family, House Richese. And based on trailer, she is going to be together with the half brother, with the Constantine, the emperor's son, with him, based on the trailer. What it's going to be, if it's he going to use her for something, or if they definitely going to build up some romantic relationship between them, I don't know. I also got the strike he's kind of almost like bisexual, because when they later went to the party, he went there was some guy waiting for him. He came to him closer, but some girl came to him as well, and seems like they was having fun, just three of them there. Okay, whatever ticks for them. But I don't know what he's going to do with this girl from House of Riches. We'll see. The whole scene with this small robot, you can see how still people scared of those, because yeah, none of those people who alive in this room, they did not saw that war. They did not saw smart machines. They didn't fight with them, because it's almost 150 years past, right? But the stories, the fear still live among the people. That's why when that escaped, everyone freaked out. But Desmond was able to kill it. And Emperor decide just close eye on it. Even he would like to cancel the wedding, but he knows he needs the fleet, because if he's not going to make spies keep coming, the big houses of Westeros, I wanted to say, big houses of this world going to overthrow him. This conversation they have with Desmond, where they make that little step into supernatural, into the religion aspect. He said like, oh, most of the time it's my wife who talks about the religions. But he said, there was one moment when I tried, everything is done for me. I was praying to God, so at least I'm not going to feel the pain in those last moments. And then I survived. And we know he got granted some kind of new powers. I don't know if it's because of the worm swallowed him. I don't know how exactly he became a hold of this power. Did it just got unlocked in him or he got some kind of reborn process? Hopefully they will unveil that. Again, season not really long. It's only 6 episodes long. So we're probably going to get at least answers to some of those questions. And Emperor saying like, you know what? If the wedding will be off, maybe I'm going to start to be a believer. And Desmond is like, challenge accepted. Time to go set this little shit on fire. This bar scene, okay, they show us some girl from Arrakis with the blue eyes, kind of like reminder, okay, look, we still have people with the blue eyes, comes from Arrakis, and surprise, apparently Atreides, the sword fighter guide, her trainer, also go to the same bar, and they went to the other room and had some vaping. I don't know what kind of vaping they have, and made some monkey business. Let's say that. I think it's really beautiful scene. I would say erotic and intimate. We had in the HBO so many scenes where, especially lately, when they got a permission and they like, okay, we have permission to show full male front nudity in the shows, and they suddenly start again. I don't know if no one, maybe if you knew on my channel, I'm openly gay guy. I'm fine with the frontal male nudity. I'm the one who's supposed to enjoy that. But I do not appreciate that when in the movie they place the nudity just for the sake of the nudity. I it's I do not understand if that's fulfill the story, if it's help to story to be told, okay. But just because we can do this and just flash so many people, like, oh, look at what kind of exhibitionism is that? I don't know. But this scene, I thought it was really intimate, really hot. You can feel the passion between them. Even but his hand move is like, no, no, don't go there. But she's like, in a 2 days I will be gone. And he's like, okay, then go there. Without showing anything that I would be ashamed to show my children, we had really nice intimate scene. So I applaud for solutions like that. Moment that I did not understand. Who left this memory card for Emperor? We see him waking up in the middle of the night and have the huge urge to go not to the restroom, but huge urge to come to his office. And in a piece of clothes, he find the memory card. I remember that Desmond, when he was coming to the palace, he had the piece of black clothes in his hand, but this is a white cloth. Who brought that in with this evidence? How Desmond staying in the desert, burning this technique, whatever machine, car, and summoning the worm, and worm common, and looks like it swallowed him. Really scary, but interesting scene with the boy. This last moment when he asking like, "You're a warrior. What you doing here? Fighting invisible war, and for all great causes, there need to be sacrifices." And Desmond saying like, "And your sacrifice will be worth it." And boy start to getting on fire. In same time, Kasha got on fire too. This is a great hook if people who watch that show and maybe at some moments they will start getting bored, maybe they like, oh, this is so much politics for me, I have enough politics in real life or whatever, this is, I want more lightsabers, I need more robots running, this is a little bit boring for me. I really hope that last scene with that combustion hooked the people's attention and they will be tuning in next week to watch it. And Valia got scared as well, seeing what's happening to the Kasha. Funny things, this joke not funny in in English at all, but it's super funny in Russian. The name of the girl is Kasha. In Russian, kasha, that's food that you made out of grains, really common base food. We call it kasha. And when you say kasha burned out, it's almost like you say your dish got burned out, your meal got burned out. So that's sometimes lost in the translations. That's why I'm enjoying to making reviews in two languages. When you make in Russian, you can find something funny. You make something in English, you can find some new angles. By the way, when I was making this review, the voice and sight, I didn't talk about this in Russian review because that thought came in the process of making video. So anyway, if you survived through 50 minutes of my chitty chatting, thank you so much. Leave your comment, leave your like, and I will be really happy to see you back. Hopefully, we will be able to build up big community who appreciate films, appreciate TV shows, and willing to get together and discuss those. Don't forget to leave comments. I'm going through all of them and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. Have a great evening. Bye bye.